Hey guys, West Coast Taco here, and welcome to the channel. If you guys are looking for some proven and recommended equipment for the truck bed on your Tacoma, you've come to the right place. Let's get after it. Well guys, I can't believe it's already been 3 years since I've purchased this 3rd gen Tacoma. And for those of you who've been following me on this journey, and pretty much since the conception of this channel, you've probably seen my truck change quite a bit. And one thing I wanted to highlight was the bed of my truck. You see, like many of you, when I got this truck, I didn't buy it just to be used for one thing. It was going to be a daily driver. It was going to be used for Home Depot and Lowe's runs. It was going to be used to go off-roading, for camping, for going to the beach with my family. I needed a vehicle. I needed a truck that could really be a full package and not be a full-size truck. I wanted to be able to park it in my garage. I didn't want to have problems trying to fit into tight parking space, especially here in Southern California. Parking is usually not friendly down here. There's a lot of people, and sometimes you got to, fit into really tight spaces. And the Tacoma just fit the bill for pretty much everything I needed. But what I needed to do is I needed to figure out a way to make my bed very versatile. All right, I didn't want to just have a bed that I could only use for a couple of things, but not have my stuff protected and not have, options to be able to mount things on the back of it as well. So over the last 3 years, the bed of my truck on this double cab lawn bed has evolved quite a bit. And today I want to give you guys an update on some of the things I've used, some of the things I've changed, and how I really think you can get the most out of the bed of your Tacoma. So whether you've had your Tacoma for a long time and you're looking to refresh something, or maybe you just got one and you're not sure what to do or where to start, today this video will help you out tremendously. So let's get into it. So one of the first modifications I made to my truck when I originally got it is I got what was called a Gator SRX tonneau cover. There's a link in this description. You can check it out and buy one if it sounds like something you would be interested in. Now, what this tonneau cover did is essentially just covered the back of the truck, and it kind of kept everything dry and neat and, kind of like secure, but it was only made of vinyl. But for a couple $100, it was a great bang for the buck. So if you're looking for something that's not super heavy duty, but you just want your stuff covered, when you're washing your truck, you don't want to have water getting in the bed every single time, I highly recommend it. And if companies wouldn't have asked me to review their other tonneau covers, I'd probably still be having the same tonneau cover on my truck today. So shortly after getting that on and enjoying it for about 6 to 9 months, I was sent the Gator Trax tonneau cover, which was a big upgrade. Okay, it's a hard cover. It just felt a little bit more beefier from every single angle, and it was a really well made cover, like no complaints whatsoever. But the only thing it was missing is it was missing a rail system. It was missing a system where I could actually attach racks to it. All right, and that's where this tonneau cover came into play. This is by Retrax, guys. I'm putting a link in the description for all 3 tonneau covers that I've had on this truck, and you can figure out which one works best for you. But what I really liked about this one is it provided the same cover. It was essentially the same exact tonneau cover as the Gator Trax, but it had the railing system so I could attach a rack. So for those of you who want to put like a rooftop tent, or you guys go snowboarding or kayaking or skiing or surfing and you want to add some extra racks onto the top, this system is beautiful. It's super clean, and basically how it works is you'll have essentially like a 2-bolt adapter that slides through here with the bolt sticking up. You slide your rack on top of it, and then you use nuts to tighten it down. So behind each pillar here, under here, is essentially an adapter that slides into the rail. So it's very clean, it's very solid, it's not going anywhere, and it only takes about 5 minutes to take this thing on and off. So it's super convenient, and it's not super bulky and obnoxious, and you don't have all these steps you got to run through to get it either installed or uninstalled. All right, now when it comes to the tonneau cover itself, I've had 0 complaints, 0 issues. I love this thing. It's easy to open, and then you can lock it wherever you need to lock it. Boom. And it's not going anywhere. All right, so a really nice setup, really nice system. Slide it open a little bit more, and overall, guys, a really clean look. That's one of the things that is a big pet peeve of mine. When I get a tonneau cover or any type of product for my truck, I'm not a huge fan of having a bunch of logos and names of that company all over it. And for some of you, it doesn't bother you, so do what you want. But that is something that I actually look at when buying a product. I want it to be well made. I want it to be a good quality, but I also don't want to have their company logo just slapped everywhere, all right? I love keeping my truck more of an OEM. If it's not Toyota, Tacoma, TRD, or something from the Toyota company in general that doesn't come kind of, you know, OEM on the trucks, I'm usually not going to put it on the vehicle. That's just how I roll. So I like how these tonneau covers are very clean. There's no branding, there's no name on it. They usually put a little sticker and it peels right off, and it looks absolutely OEM in my opinion. Now, if you guys are looking at this rack and you're wondering where I got this from, I got this from Real Truck, and there's also a link for this in the description as well. Now, what I really like about this rack is, once again, no logos, but it's solid black, all right? A lot of times you see these and they have kind of like a stainless steel and then it goes into black. Solid black, it's got great moly panels on the side, and I like how it's kind of low profile, because if you put a tent on the top, you're pretty much going to be level with the truck. You're not going to have this, you know, tent poking out over the top, and now you need to do a roof top rack on top of the truck as well to kind of make it level. So I feel like naturally it just looks really clean. Now remember guys, I have a double cab lawn bed. So if you go on Real Truck and you order the Go Rack, it's going to say it's actually not compatible with your 6-foot bed Tacoma, just because the way they set it up in the system, they made it only compatible for the 5-foot bed, but it fits perfectly because the width is still the same of the bed. But obviously you're just going to have a little bit more wiggle room when it comes to back here or up there, depending on how you want to place the rack in regards to the movement of it. All right, so just something to keep in mind. But yes, there's only one size, and this is the only size that they have on the website, and it's the size that I ordered. So long story short guys, I think it looks great, and I'm really excited to get a tent on the top. And it's also really nice if you're used to carrying a lot of things and you stack it up, it kind of creates a little bit of a cage to keep stuff from moving back and forth, which can also be a double-edged sword, because now if you have something that's kind of tall and it's really long, well, this kind of can get in the way. So it's something to keep in mind, but overall guys, it helps and benefits more than it does the opposite. So at this point in time, no complaints, and it's been a great fit. Now, one thing I'm really excited to share with you guys today is something that I recently put on by a company called Juggernaut Designs. And these guys are made right here in the USA, and it's been an absolute game changer for strapping things down in the bed of my truck. So they bolt right on to your rail system, okay? They have 2 little tabs, they slide in. You bolt one in there and you bolt one in there, and you can move them as needed in your truck. Now, what's awesome about these is they're essentially a ratchet system. How many of you guys have ratchets? The old school, like the ones from Husky or whatever, and you got all these long ropes everywhere, and you try to fit them into your cubby, and it just makes a mess, and you're always trying to like untangle them, and then you give them to somebody to borrow, or someone that's never used a ratchet, and they just mess it all up. Well, these guys are absolutely foolproof, and this is how they work. So essentially, you got the system right here, right? And this thing is fully versatile, okay? So it bends up and down, however you need it to be. And check this out. It's a retractable pulley system. And once you get it locked on to whatever you need to, so if you want to put it on a D-ring or put it somewhere, wherever you want to do it, and let's do for this video, let's just put it over here. Let's just put it on here. Beautiful. All right, there we go. So that's locked in. You take the tab. You press this yellow, well, let me see if I can get a better view for you guys. All right, there's the gray tab right here. So basically you put it down, you press this gray tab down, that brings it up, and you just start ratcheting it, right? And this thing locks in, and obviously I'm not gonna strap it down super tight, but you tighten it as tight as you need it, and when you're done, you just loosen it up. You can press that gray button down. I've got only one hand, so it's a little hard to do, but you push the gray button down, this loosens, there we go. Let's unhook it. There we go. And it retracts right back to where it was. How awesome is that? It bends right down, so it doesn't take up any extra space in the bed of your truck. So way more convenient, way more just sleek. The design is awesome. And these things feel like bulletproof, like they're heavy duty. Like nothing on this thing is like plastic. Like this whole system is like, let's see, I'm trying to get you guys the best view I can. And this thing is solid steel. Like they did an absolute phenomenal job designing and putting these things together and having these little covers on them to keep dirt, sand, debris from just kind of like baking in around it. Beautiful, beautiful, sleek, slim, and ready to work. Another thing I'm gonna mention, and I've heard rumors that for the double cab lawn beds, so the lawn bed Tacomas, they stopped making the OEM Tacoma bed mat. I don't know if it's just Southern California or if it's a nationwide or you know, global, what, I don't know. I don't know what Toyota's doing, but from what I've heard, to get the 6-foot OEM bed mat for the 3rd gen Tacoma, they're no longer in production. So for whatever reason, Toyota decided that they just needed to shift gears and only make the 5-foot beds and then just focus on the 4th gens. But what I will say, guys, is if you guys don't have a bed mat in your truck, I think you're doing yourself a bit of disservice, because with this thing, nothing's slipping around. This rubber grip keeps everything in place. So if you're taking boxes or tools or whatever, you know, it protects the composite, but it also keeps things from sliding around and clunking as you're driving. And as you can see, you know, I've used it quite a bit, and you can see some of the marks that I've had where I've been pushing things on. I did a full house remodel last year. So for those of you who are like, hey, where have you been? Well, I've been remodeling my house pretty much by myself. And it was a massive undertaking. I remodeled a 3,000 square foot home, and it was absolutely brutal, and did that while working full time and everything else. And so it was a lot, but the reward has been great. But now I'm getting the truck cleaned back up. I'm getting things back to normal in life, and I'm looking forward to making more content and trying out more products. But long story short, guys, for those of you who are looking for a nice setup for your truck, get a bed mat. You're not gonna go wrong with it. Get some of these Juggernaut design pulleys for the strap downs, way better than the traditionals. Get yourself a good tonneau cover, and if you want to get a rooftop tent, or you want to put something in regards to like a racking system for bikes or whatever, get a tonneau cover that has this built-in integrated rail system. It's a game changer. It's clean. You're not having to finagle with anything and try to jerry rig anything together. And at the end of the day, when your ride is set up the right way, when you do things the right way, when you tie it all together, the results look phenomenal, and the ability to enjoy the truck is so much greater than just trying to settle and just randomly put things together that don't make sense, that don't fit together. So at the end of the day, guys, if you guys have any questions, if you guys have any concerns, if you guys have any comments, throw them in the comments section. Everything I just showed you is in the description, so you can follow those links, get some pricing, budget it out, see what works for you, see what doesn't. But guys, until the next one, I'll be talking to you soon. See ya.